Hello and welcome to The Organized Artist. Hey there, fellow artists and creatives. Welcome to the very first episode of The Organized Artist. I'm Kristy-Lea and I'm an artist, a web designer, and a creative business consultant. And I'm someone who has learned the hard way that creative chaos doesn't have to be the norm. This podcast is here to help artists just like you become more organized, stay inspired, share your artwork, and build an art business that feels sustainable and joyful. I really truly know what it feels like to be stuck in the never-ending loop of overwhelm. Whether that's figuring out how to organize your studio space, struggling with creative block, or wondering how in the heck do you even set up a website? I've been there and I've learned to make it easier. Now I'm here to share those lessons with you. Here's a little bit about my background. As an artist, I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. I remember sitting at the kitchen table and watching my mom do watercolor paintings. Ever since I could hold a paintbrush, I loved creating. I like to color outside of the lines, and I would prefer a blank piece of paper versus a coloring book. Art has always been my passion, and it's how I express myself, process my life, work through different events and traumas and healing. It's how I connect with others. It's how I bring a part of myself to the outside world. But let's be real. Not every part of the creative journey has been easy. For years, I struggled with keeping my art space functional, dealing with creative blocks and procrastination, and figuring out how to actually sell my artwork without feeling lost in the process or feeling a little more vulnerable than I would have liked. Here's a little bit about my background in the tech and online business space. Here's the thing. I have my creative side, but I've also been deeply involved in helping online businesses with tech, design, and digital strategies since 2013. While working with entrepreneurs, coaches, and creatives just like yourself, I learned how to build websites, create online courses, market businesses, and use platforms like Sendler and Canva and Moxie and Flowdesk. You name it, I've probably been in it. And I just wanted to be able to make running an online business for all of those people much easier, much simpler. At first, I kept my art side and my tech business background side separate. But after a cancer diagnosis and cancer journey, I realized that I would like to be able to combine both of those sides and share them with other people. Because in today's world, being an artist, it just isn't about making art. It's about knowing how to share it and sell it and create an income that supports and continues to support that creativity. I mean, who doesn't like to buy a bunch of art supplies? The moment I realized I needed to change was after my diagnosis and my surgery and 4 years of that journey. During the time that I was sick, the only thing that I could think of was painting. So that was the first thing that I came back to as soon as I had the moment. And now here I am, and I want to share that side, but I also want to share all the rest of the information that I have gathered through the years with other artists just like you. I didn't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. I didn't want to live in chaos. All I wanted to do was create. That's why I started The Organized Artist. I started this podcast because I know I'm not the only artist who maybe has gone through a difficult journey or has felt some of the same ways I might feel. If you've ever struggled with organization, procrastination, mindset, or just figuring out how to actually get your art into the world, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to help you. I've spent years combining my experience in tech, design, and business strategy with my love of art. I love to create systems. I love creating organization that actually works for the artist. And now I want to share everything I've learned through the journey with you. So, who is this podcast for? This podcast is for any artist who has a dream of making their creativity their career. Maybe you're a hobbyist currently and you'd like to go full time, or maybe even just add a part-time income through your art. Maybe you've been creating for years, but you just feel so stuck in the chaos of the clutter and the tech confusion and figuring out how in the world to sell your artwork. It's truly for anyone who wants their creative life to feel a little less messy, more meaningful, and maybe a little more profitable too. Here's what you can expect. There will be 4 key pillars to this podcast. Pillar 1 is inspiration and organization, because creativity flows so much better when your space and mind feel clear. You're more likely to create if you can actually find your supplies you're looking for than if you have to actually search for them. I'll share tips for setting up inspiring studios like you see behind me. Most of the things you see behind me, I have created myself, and I will teach you how to create those. Finding creative sparks and staying organized in the process. The second pillar is creative self-care and mindset. We'll talk about overcoming creative burnout, dealing with that self-doubt, and building habits that make creativity sustainable. The third pillar is sharing your art. From getting your art in front of buyers to figuring out how to price it, I'll give you strategies for growing your audience and selling your work in a way that feels super authentic and real for you. Not everyone shares their art in the same way, and whatever way you decide to share your art is the right way for you. Pillar number 4 is tech tips and tutorials. You knew I could not leave this one out. After all, tech is, well, my second genius. Because tech should not be scary, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Whether you're using platforms like Canva or Moxie or New Zenler or Flowdesk or any other platform, pretty much most of them I've been in, I'll share simple tutorials to help you feel connected online. So why should you keep listening? Let's talk about why this podcast is a bit different. This isn't going to just be another podcast telling you to just go and do something. We'll talk about real strategies, the messy moments of life, and how to actually simplify things so that you can focus on what you love most, creating. Plus, we'll keep it fun, lighthearted, and real because, who doesn't like to laugh? We don't need more pressure in our creative lives. We need more joy. I want this to feel like a conversation that you and I are sitting across from the table at your favorite restaurant or your favorite coffee shop or in your favorite park or on my favorite beach. I'm not just talking at you. I want this to be a conversation that is shared between the two of us. So if you ever have any questions, you're running across struggles, or you have wins that you want to share, I'd love it if you would send me a message in the comments. You could send me a direct message, or you can just hit reply to any email I have ever sent. I do love hearing from my fellow artists, and I love seeing the momentum that you gain from being able to just take that one next step. So here's how you can get involved in sharing this podcast with others. I'd love it if you could go ahead and subscribe. And I know that it might be the creative pep talk that you need, but just make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss an episode. And then go ahead and share this with someone else that you think could benefit from it also. Don't forget to join the exclusive mailing list for podcast listeners, because on that exclusive mailing list, you'll get more behind the scenes and other tips and some other special things sent your way. So thanks for being here and trusting me to be a part of your creative journey. I believe that with just a dash of organization, a few mindset shifts, and a lot of heart, which I know you have, If you are a creative and an artist, you've got a ton of heart. You can build the creative life that you have been dreaming about. Here's to making art more fun, feeling less overwhelmed and stressed, and turning chaos into creativity. I can't wait to share this journey with you.